Just saving this layout. This is good. Shalom, Lord Christ. Shalom, Yahweh Shema, Shai. To the sister Jew, brother officer, Mother Bars Rip. This thing is not saving for me. Well, I'm just not even worry about that. Let's get straight into it. Okay. Clap it up. Get into it. All right, shalom, everybody. Any questions online? Any questions in the room? Let's go ahead. All right. No questions. No questions. Give it 1 second online. See if anybody types anything. All right. Let's see. I think General Hyman just covered Meg and Clay. I don't think I got anything else to add on to that. You got that article? Want to pull up? Let me see. Did I send it accurately? You do got a link for it, huh? It just won't open up. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just read it. This is some current event stuff I just read. A betrayal. California. This is in the calmatters.org. A betrayal. California to share data on immigrant drivers nationally. California is preparing to share with an outside organization detailed information about driver's license holders, including immigrants who do not have legal authorization to live in the U.S. That breaks a promise the state made a decade ago when it began issuing licenses to unauthorized immigrants. Advocates say, and it means more than 1 million people may face higher risk of deportation. But if state officials don't turn over the data, the Department of Homeland Security may refuse to accept California licenses and IDs at airports. The advocates believe, following a briefing with the California Department of, or the DMV, and the office of Governor Gavin Newsom earlier this month, state authorities confirmed they plan to share to comply with the Real ID Act of 2005, which set requirements for accepting state ID in federal facilities like airports. All right. So, yeah, good night. Yeah, the brother Martha Mia said the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. That's right. You know, give me the book of Psalms chapter 58, verse 3. This is another example. We say that we know for sure there are at least 500 treaties that were signed with Native Americans from the oppressor and our Native American brothers and sisters. And every last one of them got broken. Every last one of them were destroyed and were not applied. And they said these things like, we always talk about the treaties being broken, but why were they making the treaties? What was the purpose of making the treaties? Why do people write treaties in the first place? So the context is easy to just hear they broke a treaty, but just the word in itself has a connotation. Hazar?
So like this, sir, is it so both parties can come to some type of agreement and understanding?
Correct. In what way?
To get along.
Because of what?
Because they don't want to go to war necessarily.
Close. Basically, it's usually to end a war. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you have a ceasefire, a truce, like they had in LA, and then you formally write down a peace treaty. some type of treaty or agreement, usually to end a conflict. All right. So oftentimes the reason why they were signing these treaties is because these oppressors are saying, we're gonna kill you and we're gonna take your land. These Gadites fighting back and saying, no, you're not gonna, we're gonna have to kill all of us. We're gonna fight to protect our land. And then lives are lost on both ends. And they're like, you know what? Let's just write an agreement down. You'll take this piece of land. We'll stay over here. You can have this. We'll give you that. How about we purchase this land from you here, etc. These type of things. They were making these deals with the Gadites. And then after they make the deal, the Gadites put their weapons down. They don't fight anymore. They go in the room and they go to wherever they lay at and they go to sleep. In the middle of the night, they come back and set the whole camp on fire. You know what I'm saying? That's how they broke these treaties, you know. So they did that 500 times that we know died. How many other verbs, handshakes, all this and that, you know, drink with somebody saying this is going to happen and they go back and do the opposite. You know what I'm saying? And once again, I said that was with them. You can think about the Latino brothers from Mexico. All right. Think about how many things they promised black folks. They promised us 40 acres of mule. You understand? We ain't even got a free 40 ounce out the government. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gave us nothing from those things. They may feel like they're paying reparations with stamps or whatnot. I don't know. Maybe that's what they feel like gave us reparations. So I get that article is showing just another modern day example of this. California said if you are you come to a sanctuary state, you don't have a social security, not proper documentation, but we want to make sure that you can move on the roads, get a driver's license, go to work, you won't have any problems here, you're documented, but you're here to do work, and we want to make it comfortable for you to survive in California, because the real reason for people that are not dying to move to California.
Stay here and make them
exactly. Get out of the hand. You understand? I mean, to exploit them. California gives this whole concept like, oh, we are welcoming to immigrants and we want to make sure, damn, you need people to work on your farm so you can get your avocado and you can get your whatever the hell else like people eat that everybody else can't afford. You can't use, and you know what I mean? What is it? I think almonds are about $50 a gallon right now, right? You know what I mean? I know it doesn't work that way. It's my last, I'm not even there yet, but it's my last day drinking anyway. We're gonna have fun again, so like it. But no, for real, it's very expensive to buy almonds, right? And they need Latinos to get those things. And so they're making it seem like they're amazing, welcoming people, but really they just need slave labor. All right. But guess what? Fast forward to the day when it's us or the white people versus Latinos, they say, oh, the federal government is going to cut off aid to California. They're going to lose money. Like, oh, no, we're going to throw them under the bus. We're going to put 1 million Latinos be at risk for getting deported by giving this information to the federal government. And they know ICE is just hunting and looking for as many people as they can find. It's almost like a layup to ICE. You know what I mean? Because they're out here pulling up Depot. They don't know who's documented, and they just have to filter through and see. Now they got a whole list of 1 million people. They know exactly where you live, everything where you work. They can just go into the database and find, okay, we can go pick up this person, that person, and they'll just start snatching up Latinos like it's nothing. All right. So once again, the brother said, the white man is the devil about speaks up. You know what I'm saying? That's going to tie in to tonight's class. Obviously, you know, we're going to hit it from a different angle. For me, going back into it's definitely going to be a lot of information brought out. So y'all bear with me with this YouTube. But go ahead with the verse, lock it.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 58 and verse 3. The wicked are stricken from the womb.
The what?
The wicked are stricken from the womb.
Right. The wicked are estranged from the womb. You've been taught that people can learn how to become racist or learn how to become evil. If we just raise kids right and teach them in school, then we'll get rid of racism. Damn that. That's not the truth. We're seeing it that these people, I mean, the years and numbers are getting higher and higher. We're almost in 2030. The 2030 they are to 2020. You understand? And they are having little children hate niggas the same way they did in 1950. All right. And the reason is really
the wicked are straying from the womb.
right. It's something in them that makes them hate blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Science hasn't come out and proven this yet, but there are many studies that show that your behavior is not just based where you grew up and how you grew up. There are certain things in our DNA that lean to the other. And I know for a fact there's something in them that have a perpetual hatred for us. Go ahead.
Okay, sir, it's called epigenetics.
Damn, give them a hand. You know what I mean? That's a hell of a word. And that information of epigenetics, they only talk about the effects of people that are dealing with trauma. They don't talk about epigenetics when it comes to people that were doing the trauma, inflicting the trauma. But we know there has to be something. If we've been on the side of the stick for 400 years, they've been on the other side of the stick. And we wonder why they have so much pride and hatred for our people. It's not just from this generation. It's something going back in their DNA from the ancient Romans, you know. And when we talk about reincarnation in UK, I always think about those movies where you see a famous family on the wall and you see this cat in this generation and his hair and his clothes are a certain way. Then 50, 100 years later, it's the same goddamn man, but just a different clothes and a different style beard. His hair may be different in generation and so forth and so on, but it's literally the same person. That's what, reincarnation is. That's what reincarnation is as well, right? These people that have done those back then, they're continuing them and doing them now. Keep on, the wicked go strange from the womb.
They go astray as soon as they be born.
As what?
They go astray as soon as they be born.
As soon as they be born. Keep reading.
Speaking lies.
Doing what?
Speaking lies.
Yeah, this is the breaking of the treaty. This is just saying that God loves everybody. This is saying that all nations should come together. This is saying that I didn't have nothing to do with slavery. I didn't do nothing back then. Why are you blaming me? They're so quick to be defensive and support the system that's destroying us that there is no talking or dealing with them or rationalizing with them. Because at the end of the day, you can't, Captain Kahan says this all the time. Well, let me see if I want to say that. Yeah, you can't wake up someone that's playing sleep. You know what I'm saying? You can't wake them up and they're acting like they're oblivious to what's going on. Well, they very well know exactly what's going on, which is once again the topic of tonight. Keep going.
Their poison is like the poison of a serpent.
Damn. Their poison is like the poison of a snake. You read?
They are like the death that stoppeth her ear.
Right. That's like a death adder is like a snake that puts his head up like a cobra or, a rattlesnake, right? And listens if they hear something that they can attack, all right? Well,
which will not hearken to the voice of charmers.
Right.
Charming, never so wise.
Right. I won't listen to someone, to them. The snake listens to that charmer. It doesn't want to attack because the music is playing and it's moving a certain way. They're not going to listen to the truth when you tell them how evil they are and the things that they've done and what they should do about it. They are going to keep going.
Break their teeth.
Dang. Bring this one out. Can't this week. The Lord said to do what?
Break their teeth.
One more time.
Break their teeth.
The Bible's all about love.
Break their teeth.
We should all join hands in hands.
Break their teeth.
One more time. That was the past.
break their
The
teeth,
Bible says to break their teeth. He reading?
God,
Yeah.
in their mouth.
Mhm.
Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord.
Right. These were the prayers of our ancient priests and prophets and men of the Lord that prayed to the Most High. David, Psalms, you understand, writing and talking to the Lord to come and fight against his enemies. All right. Let's go. We'll drop that. I'm gonna do some of the reading out of this book real quick. Genesis chapter 2, verse 16. Let's see how long this video is. We won't play the whole video. Y'all can listen to the audio. We don't have to pull it on the screen.
Our durable, weather-resistant hammocks are designed.
Genesis chapter 2 and verse 16.
It's the book of Genesis.
Fuck it. All these damn commercials. What?
This is chapter 2 and verse 16. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it.
Right. Like of all the things in the garden, of all the things the Lord said was lawful, those are the things the things he gave Adam, the breath of life, all right, was the law, statutes, and commandments. Those things obey, those things do. Don't partake in the knowledge of evil. You heard that smoking weed was wrong, but until you actually smoke weed, you're like, oh, this is the good about it. There is something good about it. It makes you feel you're laughing, you're having fun, you relax, whatever. But the evil of it is the fact that you're losing jobs over it. You can't lay with your woman because you're too high. So many negatives that come with you're paranoid. You can't eat without getting high. You're destroying your lungs. You're creating more mental illness in yourself. Talking about you're healing yourself. All right. These things are what comes with the knowledge of the good and the evil of using drugs, the things that we were told not to do. And that's what Adam and Eve were told. Keep reading.
For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die.
Right. The day that you eat these things, then you're going to die. The day you partake in the culture of your enemies is the day that you are going to die. All right. All right. Let's stop right. I'm going to play. I'm going to play this. I'm going to play this second. Let me go ahead and read this first. All right. The title of tonight's class is College Sociology 101 says that the white man is the devil. All right. This is something that I went to school for, and very interesting to me. It's something that was instrumental in me coming into the truth and coming into the UPA. So I grew up, I tell people, I grew up hearing stories about what the oppressors did to my grandparents. You know, I've heard them say they were devils and, evil people. But I also learned that the oppressor was a devil in college too. You understand? And they said if you wanted to hide something from a nigga, put it in a book. They have a lot of knowledge and information that can be used against them, and they don't want us to get it. So Be a lot of reading, not too much, but it's the first couple pages. So I got the notes what I said. I'm start at. Okay. All right. So by definition, most people heard about psychology. what is it that y'all know? You can just you call it out. You don't have to raise your hand. What do you know about psychology? Or what comes to your mind when you think about psychology?
So I can say, I think of the mental disorders, like the book that has all the different disorders.
Right. DSM. Right. Anything else? Like, what does psychologists study, or what do they do, or what is their purpose of being a psychologist?
So I can say, would it be the study of human, whatever you want sociology, that we want sociology interaction, but how humans.
Right. Right. And when you think about it on an individual basis, basically how this person thinks versus how this person thinks, what happened to this person in their childhood, what might be in their brain, chemical imbalance, why do they do what they do, their behavior is more on an individual basis. All right. When I went to study, that's what I wanted to major in, was psychology. This is what I took in high school. So what I heard about is what majority of people hear about. Want to get somebody's brain, understand why they think, why they do what they do. And I ended up taking a sociology course, and the teacher, he's like, nah, this is what you need to be studying. This is where it's at. Oftentimes there's a beef between us and psychologists. I've never heard of that before. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be all science. I'm like, damn, there's a beef between y'all. He's like, yeah, what they're teaching is what they want to put out there on TV. You know what I mean? And I remember, I don't know if y'all remember a few years ago, a lot more years ago, Tom Cruise was at Oprah. He's standing on the couch. They said he was going crazy. And some of the things, matter of fact, let me pull that up real quick. So like, the hell was Tom Cruise saying on that thing? Real quick. Bear with me. Yeah, he was talking about Scientology. Let me see if I can get it. They probably didn't scrubbed it from the internet. His whole thing. He was going on a rant. A broken clock is right times a day on couch. Let me see. Oprah. He definitely. Let me see if this is what he was saying. Maybe it was in the other part to the end. I remember watching this some years ago when it came out. Just waiting for this commercial to go by. Let's see. Maybe this. This video is crazy. I don't believe they cloning people, but this might be a clone or something. So he just got out the cage. He was laughing for no reason. Let me see. I'm not saying anything. This is weird. Okay. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna erase this. Let me see. I'm gonna try one more thing. Let's see if this comes up. This is a bunch of nothing. Let's see. Let's see what he says right here. I'm gonna pause right there. Again, like I said, a broken clock can be right twice a day. I don't know if they can. I should have shared it online, but he's going on these rants. He's obviously high out his mind. He's probably on the Ritalin. He's saying you shouldn't take at the time, right? But with that being said, psychologists, psychiatrists, whatever, they investigate this person. They say, how are we going to fix the problem? Why do we see this behavior? Let's deal with this individual and we'll stop this from happening. All right. He might have a chemical imbalance in his brain. This is why he's prone to violence. He has ADHD. He has this. Let's give him some Ritalin. And like he said, it's just masking the problem. It's doping this kid up and it's putting him so he's just calm and sitting. He's really just like he's high, and that's all they want. But the reality is, what's the underlying problem? And this is why the beef comes from sociology to psychology, right? So you have a child. He is in LA. He joins a gang. All right. He ends up killing somebody, unaliving somebody. He's 15 years old. He comes from a single parent home. He can barely read. He listens to Lil Durk and YG all day, every day. Okay. Psychologist is gonna say that he might have a high amount of testosterone. He might have ADHD. He needs this antidepressant to calm him down, to balance his body out so he doesn't be as violent as he is. A sociologist is going to say, that sounds good, but why did a kid in New York who has a single parent family, barely can read, you understand, listens to Lil Durk and YG too, why did he do the same thing? Why did a kid in Miami that was 15 do the same thing? And why did this kid in Chicago do the same thing? They all have the same things in common. They all exhibit the same behavior. Why are we blaming this individual for that behavior as opposed to investigating the society? All right. If you investigate the society and you see that cause, then guess what? We shouldn't give this 15-year-old 55 years in prison. We shouldn't lock him up for the next 150 years because he is not the problem with society. He's what? So blow my mind. Got Azar. No, go ahead. He's not the problem with society, if that's the case, because all these other kids are exhibiting it. He is what of society?
The product of society.
Yeah, I'll take that. What's another word? Bring it on home. Sis. What you got? Even stronger word. They love to use it against us.
So would it be here the result?
Not yet. Same thing, but nah, he's a victim. You understand? He is suffering from what society created. And now we're going to punish the victim for being the thing that we made. You understand? You know how evil that is? Do you know that changes the whole mindset of what San Quentin is? Of what all these prisons around the country are, Rikers Island? You want to send this person there and laugh about them getting molested and raped in jail. Like it's a funny thing. Like he deserves to be treated that way. The reason why I chose this topic tonight is because they had a conversation on TikTok a few days ago about who is responsible for YN culture. Everyone on there wants to blame just the music. They want to blame single parent mothers. They want to blame everything under the sun except the people that created the culture and society that we live in, that created YNs. All right. So this is the wisdom that we learn in the truth. The Bible told Adam and Eve not to be like those other cultures. All right. So I'm going to read how important this is in this book, and then we'll get a couple more Bible verses, and then we got a video, and we'll keep moving forward. What time we got? 8:20. All right, let's log in. So sociology offers a perspective, a view of the world. The sociological perspective or imagination opens a window onto unfamiliar worlds and offers a fresh look at familiar ones. In this text, you will find yourself in the midst of Nazis in Germany and warriors in South America, as well as among people who live in a city dump. If you want to jump ahead, you can see photos I took of the people who live in Cambodia. You will also find yourself looking at your own world in a different light. As you view other worlds, that's a John 3:16, you know what I'm saying? A lot of other worlds on earth, right? Or your own, the sociological perspective enables you to gain a new perception of social life. In fact, this is what many find appealing about sociology. The sociological perspective has been a motivating force in my own life. Ever since I took my intro course in sociology, I have been enchanted by the perspective that it offers. I have enjoyed both observing other groups and questioning my own assumptions about life. I sincerely hope the same happens to you. All right. Seeing the broader social context. The sociological perspective stresses the social context in which we live. It examines how these contexts influence people's lives. At the center of the sociological perspective is the question of how groups influence people, especially how people are influenced by their society. A group, or what's the definition of that? A group of people who share a culture and territory. That's what society is. You share a culture in Oakland, in Richmond, in Compton, in Harlem, in Miami. You understand? In Chicago, you share a culture, you share a territory. That creates how you think. That creates how you behave. All right. To find out why people do what they do, sociologists look at social location, the corners in life that people occupy because where they are located in a society. The sociologists look at how jobs, income, education, gender, age, and race, ethnicity affects people's ideas and behavior. Consider, for example, how being identified with a group called females or with a group called males when you were growing up has shaped your ideas of who you are. Growing up as a female or male has influenced not only how you feel about yourself, but also your ideas of what you should attain in life and how you relate to others. C. Wright Mills put it this way: the sociological imagination or perspective enables us to grasp the connection between history and biography. By history, he meant that each society is located in a broad stream of events. When it comes to YN, some sister got on, she was a sister, she was a goddamn heathen. She got on there saying, well, I think the reason why I moved here from Ethiopia when I was 5, I'm 25 right now, or something, 20 years old. The reason why YN culture is created is it's the music. It wasn't even around in before the 2020s. Bitch, do you know what happened in the 80s? This was the worst young niggas ever. You know what I'm saying? Gangbanging in the 90s. These niggas, the death rate was way higher in the 90s and the 80s than it is right now. But these cats that are online that are sagging their pants and got a shiesty mask on are the devil on the planet Earth, according to everybody in society. But they are not doing the things that were being done back then. She doesn't have a context of history prior to the past 5 or 10 years. All right. So it says this gives each society specific characteristics, such as its ideas about the proper roles of men and women. Where do we get our ideas about men and women? Music. Talk about Clay and Meg Thee Stallion. Some of them lyrics that Broad was saying, man, I listened to the other day. if a bee sting my rib and she go, ow, I might lose my ring. I'm gonna put my hands on it. I hate that for Megan. She's ow. She was taking nigga money. Nigga, don't fuck him. Suck his dick. I'm like, God damn, this is the evilest song ever. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them, the top, like, God damn, man. You know what I mean? But people are coming in defense for her and him. We're not picking sides. We're not gonna play the men versus women thing. But who is paying them to say these things? Who is putting it in culture? It's so far back. She might not even know. Like, it's not. Sometimes they may literally go to Lil Durk and say, hey, make a song about killing niggas. Or they just created the environment in the hood where that's all he knows. He's seen the people before him get paid for it. He doesn't even understand that this is why he wants to make music like this. But they put it in there so much that this is the result we get. All right? It's like it. All right. This gives each society specific characteristics. Okay, we read that already. By biography, Mills referred to the specific experiences that give individuals their orientation to life. In short, people don't do what they do because they inherit some internal mechanism, such as instincts. We did what we were doing just because we were born this way. That's the textbook definition of racism. Niggas kill each other. Why? Because we niggas. Why are you a blood? Nigga, I was born blood. I'm a die blood. You know what I'm saying? My kids gonna be bloods. Niggas really believe that. Nigga, I'm from East Oakland. Nigga, this is where I'm from. Why? That's where I'm from. I was born in this. No, you know what I'm saying? If you were born in Texas, you wouldn't care about East Oakland. If you was born in Chicago, you wouldn't give a damn about Texas. That's not in your DNA to bang your hood or your block. You are learning these things from where you grow up, all right? In short, the society in which we grow up and our particular location in that society lie at the center of what we do and how we think. Consider a newborn baby. As you know, if you were to take the baby away from its U.S. parents and place it with the Yanomamo Indians in the jungles of South America, when the child began to speak, his or her words would not be in English. All right. You also know that the child would not think like an American. The child would not grow up wanting credit cards, for example, or designer clothes, Gucci, Louis, Fendi, Prada. They don't care about that. You think that bag, a Go-Yard bag, is $50,000. Why? Because the bag is really worth that? You were taught that, and you value it because your oppressor told you it was worth $50,000. It was worth unaliving someone for this goddamn bag or these Jordans, all right? They wouldn't care about having a car or a cell phone or a new whatever laptop and the latest video game, PS5. He or she would take his or her place in the Yanomamo society, perhaps as a food gatherer, a hunter, or a warrior, and would not even know about the world left behind at birth. And whether male or female, the child will grow up assuming that it is natural to want many children, not debating whether to have 1, 2, or 3 children. That's what their culture is. That's what their society teaches. And that's how that kid would act if he grew up around them. People around the globe take their particular views of the world for granted. Something inside us Americans tell us that hamburgers are delicious, small families desirable, designer clothing attractive. Yet something inside some of the Sinai Desert Arab tribes tells them that warm, fresh camel's blood makes a fine drink and that everyone should have a large family and wear flowing robes. They want to show that contrast to see that you think it's normal to love hamburgers. They think it's normal to drink camel's blood. Neither of them even really matter. It's what some people created and they follow it and you grow up in it and that's what you do. All right. And that something certainly isn't instinct. As sociologist Peter Berger phrased it, that something is society within us. This is where we get to the truth, all right, and understanding the plight of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Society within us means your thoughts are not your thoughts. They're your culture and your society starts. It's literally within you. There's a white man within you. There's Christianity within you. That's why we say you have to kill off that old man and become a new man and become what? Born again. Because you were born into a culture that was created to do what? To destroy you and your people. And you think this is your thoughts, your creation, your behavior, what you believe in. You can't tell no nigga that Jordans are not the best shoes or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? That's popping right now. That Balenciagas have no value. It's meaningless. You argue someone to death over Balenciagas meaning something. But you understand? But that is something that's society within them. That's their brainwashing. All right. Give me Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1. The whole purpose of this class is to show that the people doing this, oftentimes when we do this job and we talk about the things of the truth, someone can gaslight you into thinking that you're tripping. When you keep bringing up the oppressor, we get it, white man, we know what they did. But that was his choice to become a YN. And that was her choice to become a stripper. And this is why, like, this information proves why Christ died for our people. You understand? Like, he's looking at his people underneath the Roman Empire, fighting each other, stabbing each other, committing adultery with each other, doing all manner of evil to each other. He's like, Lord, forgive them for they know not what they do. This brother over here is a YN. Forgive that brother for he know not what he do. What year are we in? 2026? The nigga 13, man. What year was he born in? 2013? He's what's wrong with the effing world? George Bush and what he did in Iraq had nothing to do with his life. 9/11 and the whole nothing. Wall Street, the $300 billion they did in the when the economy went to hell with, what was that? The housing crisis. That ain't got nothing to do with him and his behavior. Gangster rap music. Y'all know the prison industry invested in the music industry, and the music industry invested in the prison industry. Nah, this nigga that's 13 that was born in 2013, he's the evilest nigga on earth. His behavior is his choice. He should be better. Blame that nigga. The 14-year-old little girl that's about to have an abortion this year, she's a whore. It's her fault. Christ, forgive her, my Lord. She know not what she do. Forgive that brother that just killed this nigga, killed the op in Chicago. That was wrong. That was evil. He should be punished for it. But he needs another chance, another opportunity, because he's got billions and billions of dollars and trillions of dollars and highly educated people working to get this desired behavior out of him so that they can buy a goddamn yacht or a boat off of him going to prison. They invested in him being destroyed. Why would Christ want to come and glorify in destroying our people in 2/3 and all that when he sees the evil that they've done? All right, go ahead and read.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field.
Right, the white man was more subtle than any beast of the field. All these nations, they're very subtle. The Moabites, the Elamites, the Arabs, you understand? The Africans, they're all subtle. But this one was the most subtle. Keep going.
Which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
Right. So once again, the oppressor will always come to the woman first. That's what the Bible and wisdom tells you. You go into that Willie Lynch paper, it says they got to break the woman first so then she can break the children and raise the children up as slaves. It's the same thing, the same play he's always done. And go ahead.
And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it,
Right. Keep going.
neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
Mm-hmm.
And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die.
Right. What you mean law, statutes, and commandments? What do you need, pork? You don't need to follow the laws of God. That's a fairy tale book. Jesus never existed. Them is just stories. You understand? These are the same lies that people are going to come in. I'm an atheist. You believe in God. We can't prove God. There is no God. We just roll on a rock in the middle of space. Da 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 da. All these things, these lies, the oppressor's biggest skill is his ability to lie. And he was able to lie to her and say that you're not going to die. This little weed ain't going to hurt you. Yeah, women have the right to choose. That sounds good. But patriarchy, you know what I'm saying? All these different things. The LGBT is all about love. They're going to tell you different things and tell you there's nothing wrong with it. And they're going to tell it to a child and they're going to tell it to a woman. And a woman is going to raise her children to believe these things and watch our whole community get destroyed. You don't need a man. And now look what happens. This boy joins the gang. He becomes a part of this and they killing. The whole hood is destroyed because they listen to this serpent. Keep going.
For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open.
When you get away from the Lord's culture and go to their culture, your eyes are going to be open. You're going to have an amazing time. It's going to be better for you. Come away from those old ways. That's old fashioned. Come to the new way of life. This is 2026. All right. It always cracks me up when I watch a video from Martin, old episode, and they were arguing with men and women about certain things. And the woman says, it's the 90s. It sounds so crazy now, 30 years. But then you watch another video for someone and they go, it's the 80s. You're like, damn, they were doing that back then too? And you go back even further. This is the 70s. I'm a 70s woman. You're like, damn, tell us that old things that are morals and standards in life don't matter because of what year it is. It changed because it's 2026. If you believe now it's okay for a boy to become a girl, it was not okay in the 90s, but now it's okay. No, it was not okay then. It's not okay now because certain things don't change. Keep going. Let me know what verse you in.
Verse 4. Sorry, verse 5.
All right, let's go down to verse 7. Let's keep going.
Verse 7.
No, keep reading through, but I'm saying stop when you get after verse 7.
Go on, sir. And ye shall be as gods,
Damn.
knowing good and evil.
They always want to make you a god. Keep going.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food and that it was pleasant to the eyes.
They love getting high over there. They're LGBT. Their families ain't destroyed. They doing this. They selling drugs. Everybody doing it. We should do it. You understand? All those things they're doing, let's do what they're doing. It's good. Keep going.
And a tree to be desired to make one wise. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
Right.
Verse 7. And the eyes of them both were open.
Right.
And they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together.
Right.
And made themselves a prom.
Right. What are these leaves? You know? I'll give it to y'all. They just try to fully embrace the culture and hide and look amongst them. Like next time, you probably never noticed before, but next time you go out in the world, you see a group of Edomites that are like gothic or rockers, and you see that weird emo nigga, or one weird emo Latino with them. Like they all look appropriate, except the one brother or sister. They stand out. You know what I'm saying? They put on the eyeliner. They're wearing the spikes. They're trying to be like them, but the nigga has an afro. It doesn't fit. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not really having fun. You're not really in this group. You're trying to be like that group, but we can see you a mile away. You want to go ahead,
So I can say you perpetrate.
Yeah, exactly. That's what those leaves were they tried to put on. It was them perpetrating. All right. Is there anything else on verse 7?
Wow.
All right. I'm gonna go back to this one, all right, and showing you why the Lord didn't want us to take on other people's culture. There's so much wisdom in those few verses. Now we're gonna show it over here, all right. Although when the last part I said was this something in society within us. Although obvious, this point frequently eludes us. We often think and talk about people's behavior as though it was caused by their sex. Men are like that. Niggas ain't ish. Their race. It didn't say niggas ain't ish. I'm adding that in here. It's a lot. I'm adding a couple words in here. But when they say men are like that, or niggas ain't ish, or their race, they are like that. They are like this, or some other factor transmitted by their genes. The sociological perspective helps us escape from this cramped personal view by exposing the broader social context that underlies human behavior. It helps us see the links between what people do and the social settings that shape their behavior. If you have been thinking along with me, and I hope you have, you should be thinking about how your social groups have shaped your ideas and desires. Over and over in this text, you will see that the way you look at the world is the result of your exposure to specific human groups. I think you will enjoy the process of self-discovery that sociology offers. Like, to me, this did allow me to zoom out and look back and see, okay, I grew up in this society. I like Mac Dre. I like Too Short. I like Sugar Free. I also want to pimp abroad. Well, do I really want to pimp abroad? Or did I learn this from my culture here in the Bay Area? Was it promoted from the movie The Mac and Superfly and my uncle who was a pimp and my other cousin who was pimping? And I heard these stories of that, and everything is AOB and all on a bit. You got to start abroad and whoa. Everything that I learned growing up, this is the things that I saw, and no wonder I want to exhibit this behavior. Now I got to look out and say, okay, is that something that person created? Did Mac Dre really want to be a pimp too? Or did he learn it from somewhere? And then did Sugar Free the same? Or did it come from somewhere else? And then you see a movie about slavery. It's called Goodbye Uncle Tom. And they showed a little small person. I'm calling him a midget. I'm still calling him a midget. But he was a midget. We shouldn't say that anymore. He's a small nigga. And he is in here dressed in funny clothes, and he is bringing white men into a back room, and he's saying, hey, you want to buy this woman right here? This is a dark-skinned woman from here. Then we got a light octagon. They had little different names. Mulatto. We hear that word. Y'all heard of octoroon before? They used to break it down by how much white you had in you. So if you was an octoroon, one out of your 8 foreparents was an Edomite or was a Negro. Could have been the other way around. I forget which one it is. But they used to break it down. Quadroon, 1 in 4 was a nigga. 1 in 8 was a nigga. Like the more closer you got, more white, the more valuable you were, and da-da-da-da-da. So he's going to different rooms and saying, this sister over here, this sister over there. Then he went into another room, man. Shit broke my heart. You almost got to turn it off. He got younger girls in here. He started telling them about this and that price. He went in another room, and they had little boys in there dressed up like little girls. You understand? And these things were going on in the plantations in New Orleans and in the South, and none of these stories get passed down or told to us. We don't know that pimping was taught on the plantation. You understand? We're not taught that the original, cat that was doing these things was just a piece of that system down there or that society and that culture. And then when we see it 100 years later, we embrace it when that was a very evil thing. Anybody in their right mind and knows the context will say, this is something that you would not want to be a part of. And then now I understand the biography and the history and the context of my behavior. And I looked a little bit further and said, well, what were we doing before we got here? We weren't doing that. And then we get to this. Understand? There shall be no whores of the daughters of Zion. You know what I mean? Those concepts that Mabel Khan brought out at camp last week, like, that's not our culture. That's not our society. And that's not who I am. All right? Let's go. Let me read a little bit. Nope. Go to science. Go to this video, blah, 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 natural sciences, social sciences. Let me go back to my notes and see where to pick up at. The goals of science, is that it? Okay. Okay. The goals. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. The goals of science. The first goal of each science is to explain why something happens. The second goal is to make generalizations. So this is another thing they'll get you on. You start talking about this. Yeah, but you can't say all white people. You can't say that. You can't talk about a group of white people. That doesn't make any sense. You don't know me. I'm an individual. I ain't never did nothing racist to nobody. They always want to make it about them. But science is making it about a group. If you're intelligent and you're scientific, you're not going to judge, oh, Susie that works at Walmart with me or Tom that went to school with me. Your group of people live in Dublin. Your group of people are becoming sheriffs and COs. Your group of people join the FBI and destroy my group of people as a society. Why are we talking about you as an individual? Why am I going to make my decision about what's going on about an individual? That doesn't make sense. You're getting away with murder literally in a group fashion, and then you want us, each of us, to focus on the individual life. You understand? When I learned this lesson so much, it was the teacher, he told me, the same teacher that told me to learn about this stuff. He was very pompous and very arrogant. He's a brother. I went to HBCU, but he graduated from Harvard. He was always tells all the time, I really don't even have to be here with you niggas. I came back. He didn't say it like that, but he was basically saying it like that. But he was a good brother. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I went to Harvard. I could be doing, you know what I mean? I'm here trying to give y'all the game. You know what I mean? Like, y'all playing around with this information and knowledge. I could be just going to Harvard, talking to white people all day and helping them out with my knowledge and education. But I came back down here making less money in the sticks of Louisiana to give y'all this information. And he read something that said, kids from single parent mothers are more likely to go to prison. Some country sister in the back of the class, she didn't raise her hand like that. I'm so UPK'd up. She raised her hand. Mr. Davis, I come from a single parent mama and I'm in college. I ain't go to prison. He said, Most High in Christ, Shaniqua. I understand what you're saying. However, you are what's called an anomaly. You are called something that is not in general, but science is based on generalization. You can't say you don't believe it because of your life experience. The facts and statistics show that kids from single parent mothers are more likely to go to prison, and that's a effing fact. Damn your life. This is what's going on with other people. You understand? And that's how they do us all the time. They try to convince you that I'm just one individual white person. You should judge me and don't think about this group that's moving to destroy your people. All right. So it says the goal of science is to make generalizations and this is to go beyond the individual case and make statements that apply to a broader group or situation. For example, a sociologist wants to explain not only why Mary went to college or became an armed robber, but also why people with her characteristics are more likely than others to go to college or to become armed robbers. To achieve generalization, sociologists look for patterns, recurring characteristics, or events. The third scientific goal is to predict, to specify in the light of current knowledge what will happen in the future. You know you have a good theory. You know you have some good information if you can predict the future of what's going to happen. You can say this time next year, there's going to be 300,000 abortions in the Black community. Black women are going to have 300 to 500,000 abortions this year. That's predictable. And if it happens, then that shows something is bigger than just some broad twerking in the abortion room talking about if these niggas or they had, what if the woman has the right to choose? White woman, what? White bitch, what? Woman choose, why all the same women choose the same goddamn thing every year? They didn't have the right to choose. You created this. You mastermind this and got the desired effect from your goddamn experiment. They call it the projects for a reason, man. We in a goddamn science project. Put a bunch of niggas in a building, don't give them any jobs, or give them a job and take away the job, and then throw drugs in there and see what happens. Tell them that they can't stay there as a man, welfare at the same time, and see what happens. This is all a program. You understand? So once again, to attain these goals, scientists do not rely on magic, superstition, or common beliefs, but instead they do systematic research. They explain exactly how they did their research so it can be reviewed by others. Secrecy, prejudice, and other biases go against the grain of science. Sociologists and other scientists also move beyond common sense. All right, they like that. Everyone knows this, and everyone understands that. That's common sense. It's not so common. There are things that you may take for granted. All right, I'm gonna keep moving. For this is the one part I like. We're gonna go back into the Bible. The risk of being a sociologist. Sometimes explorations of sociologists take them into nooks and crannies that people would prefer remain unexplored. I don't want you to learn this. This is the same thing they say. You want to hide something, put it in the book. The intro of this book, this is literally chapter 1, 3 pages in, 4 pages in. They said it's a risk because people don't want to look into this. For example, a sociologist might study how people make decisions to commit a crime or cheat on their spouses. Since sociologists want above all to understand social life, they don't cease their studies because people feel uncomfortable. Sociologists consider all realms of human life legitimate avenues to explore, and they do so from the respectable to the downright disreputable. As they examine how groups operate, sociologists sometimes face pressure to keep things secret. You going too far down the rabbit hole. You showing how this prison is investing in the music industry and the music industry invested in the prison, and you showing how that this group in Chicago that listens to drill music is leading to the high crime rate. You messing up our money. You messing up all these things. We don't want you to expose that information, all right? Every group, it seems, nourishes some ideal image that it presents to others. Because sociologists are interested in knowing what is really going on, they peer behind the scenes to get past those sugar-coated images. This can threaten groups that are being studied, leading to pressure and conflict, all a part of the adventure and risk of being a sociologist. I read that, I was sold. I'm like, this is all I want to learn about. You understand? Like, this psychology book don't tell you there's no risk in learning about Adderall and ADHD. It's just information. It doesn't mean all that information is wrong either. Doesn't mean economics is wrong. Doesn't mean none of these things are wrong. But this one is talking about all those things combined, and it's the most powerful one, in my opinion, and the Bible certifies it. It's the most powerful one because if you can control the society and the culture, you can control the people. You can control the world. All right, we're gonna go back. So that's that. I got a little bit more in here too. Let's go back to the Bible. Leviticus 18, chapter 1. 18, verse 1. So like chapter 18, verse 1.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 18 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord your God. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwell, shall ye not do.
Right. Don't do the things that the people in Egypt did. Plain and simple. Don't follow their what?
Customs.
Exactly. Another word?
Culture.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Don't follow it. It's very important. Adam and Eve was told it. Now Moses is told the same thing. Children of Israel have been repeatedly told, don't follow the culture of these other people. Keep reading.
Wherein ye dwell, shall ye not do, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do.
Yeah, you move this other place, don't do the things they do over there either. They don't do the same things the Egyptians do. They do things a little bit different. New York, they carry themselves this way. Miami, they carry themselves that way. Don't do neither one of them. You need to do what I tell you to do. You need to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. This is our culture. This is our heritage. If you so inherently think that you a Miami nigga so much, or you a Detroit nigga so much, it'll prevent you from following the Most High God, because you're following the people that live in that land. All right. There was another study. I'm gonna keep it going for time's sake. But there was a study in Chicago. They have neighborhoods there that at one point in time, Irish people used to live there, and they're known for crime. And they moved the Irish out, and the Italians moved in the same neighborhood, and they were known for crime. And they moved them out, and then the black people came in, they were known for crime. They moved them out. The Latinos came in, they were known for crime. Like Oakland is the perfect example of that. Like this history of that is like, damn, the Latinos start moving in, they still town niggas. They doing side shows, and they, you know what I'm saying, got grills and doing the same. Like, damn, this culture has stayed in this land longer than the people that were here that started the damn culture. You understand? You could move into a place and be so enveloped in it, or you know what word that means, but you get so involved in it, encapsulated in it, that you make it your own. You know what I'm saying? And you think that becomes you. Now what? Society is within you. Go ahead. You got a question or comment, sis, please.
So I feel, sir. Question: would that be more? Would that also be if there's different groups of people coming in? Would that be social? Would it also be spiritual as well?
Okay, let me see what you mean. Like, which way? In what example? Like,
so, for example, let's say, for example, say Oakland, right before it was integrated, they had let's say maybe some Italians and big parts of Oakland, or even Polish parts of Oakland might have been, I don't know how it was.
Right.
The spirit of, let's say,
Yeah.
parts of Oakland having that spirit,
Right.
and then other people in the 60s or so, after being on and stuff like that, we come in and we're integrated and stuff like that. That becomes part of the open culture, and then that's why brothers are coming.
I got it.
So people are leaving, but the spirit is still staying.
Right. Exactly. That's a perfect way to say it. And this is why when we say the Holy Spirit, y'all know what the Holy Spirit is? A vibe. It's a thing that you do. If you have, you love the 49ers, you have the team spirit of the Niners. So how does your house look? You got the Niners color, the Niners on your car, the license plate, the flag. You are in the spirit of the 49ers. All right. You got the Christmas spirit. You got all those things. All right. Having the Holy Spirit is having the spirit of the Lord. You know what I mean? You UPK'd out, you one West out, you everything that you're doing, you're trying to carry the truth with you. So that spirit, not meaning like an invisible ghost that's hopping on someone, but that spirit and that vibe of that city and that area can live on no matter who is living in there. So I would say that's an excellent way to explain that the spirit of that city can live on even past the people that live there. All right. Get a sister. All right. Let's go ahead.
Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. Ye shall do my judgments and keep my ordinances to walk therein. I am the Lord your God.
Right.
Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord.
Right. The foundation of a culture and a society is the laws of that group. You understand? That's what rules and determines. And what makes our laws so amazing. No, okay, I'm gonna say this. The laws are a good portion of culture and society, typically. It's not everything. But when it comes to being a Hebrew Israelite, our laws are our culture and our morals and our way of dealing with each other. You see what I'm saying? Because we touch on the food, we touch on the dress, we touch on the talk. You know what I'm saying? We touch on crime. You know, in this society, you can be a homosexual. In our culture, that's a crime. You know what I'm saying? Over here, you can do this and do that. You cannot kill your brother. That's a crime. You know what I mean? So we have all of those things in our laws. It's not just about crime. It's also about culture. We have to have these feast days, have to have these high holy days. All right. Keep going.
Verse 6. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him.
Good night. Now that's just to go into that. We're not gonna keep reading these verses, but once it goes into the rest of this chapter, it talks about unlawful sexual relations. You're not supposed to deal with anyone near kin to you. Why are they bringing that up? If you can remember the first, go ahead.
So says the Egyptians were gay.
Exactly. And they were incestuous. You know what I'm saying? They're going into near kin of them. They're about you can't sleep with your mother, you can't sleep with your brother, can't sleep with your sister, sleep with your uncle, can't sleep with this, and can't sleep with that. Because the Egyptians were doing all that. You can't sleep with your pit bull or a golden retriever. You know what I'm saying? Because the Egyptians were doing these things. You'll never see a law be created unless it's being done. You know what I'm saying? That's why it had to become a law. All right, let's drop that. Let's go to First Maccabees chapter 1. And just the laws, like when the Lord transitioned from that, don't do what the Egyptians are doing, don't do what the Canaanites are doing. Now don't F your sister. Like the transition from that to that is so important because the way people deal with each other sexually is very important to a society. And we see that in America today, where there are just literally no rules. Every week, they just created, it was like MWTIGST. Y'all heard the new one? It's like WTTSDI. Cue him in. I'm going to play it for you. Oh my God. And they are dead serious. One of them was a skit. I'm like, okay, this is a skit. Then I went back a week later, saw, it was actually a goddamn real thing. They are out here gang banging with this stuff. They got so many letters. Hold on. Shit. I'm just gonna guess. I'm typing all types of. Hey. Let me see what comes up. Let me see if it comes. Okay. Damn. It's not coming. Okay, there it goes. I found it. This is ridiculous. First, I saw a skit of this, and I thought it was. I'm like, damn, they're joking. Then I found out this is a real thing. This lady made this at a effing conference. Here it is, man. I don't know which letter he is, but I don't even want to listen to him talk. How do you start this thing over? God damn, man. Hold on. M. I can see it right here. I'm gonna get it one more time. If y'all can catch it. MMIWG. It's gotta be a joke, huh? You know what I'm saying? You can't be serious. They are dead serious, man. They didn't create new letters. They didn't add it on. They didn't remix the alphabet. You know what I'm saying? What you got?
Slovakia, sir. It's called Murdered, Missing Indigenous Women, Girls, and Two Spirit.
Keep going.
Or MMIP.
Oh, okay, but then they got lesbian, gay, trans. So I don't know what the IA is. Plus, it just said if we missed a letter, we don't want you to be offended. You know what I'm saying? But like I think I almost got where I started with this. There's so many different versions. You can be pansexual, you can be asexual, you can be bisexual, you can be Miley Cyrus sexual. You probably just all I want to do is have sex with Miley Cyrus. That's it. You know what I'm saying? They create so many things every day which are not of the Lord, man. And this is why we have to separate ourselves from these things. And the way that you are sexually determines your culture, your society. If you're free and loose and who's to say you can't marry your sister? Why they ain't had that in there? They're going to add a B and an S in there. Brothers, sisters, love, and JGBTQRS, JatGBT, IA. You know what I'm saying? I'm in love with my chatbot. You know what I mean? That's next. You know that. They people that marrying, they're dating the AI right now. How are you going to tell me I can't love my phone, Mom? I'm marrying her. I'm going to leave my inheritance to ChatGPT. You're a goddamn bigot, Mom. Love is love. You're not going to give our inheritance to ChatGPT, Tom. This is 226, Mom. 226. This is not the 90s. I can love an AI if I want. All right. That's where we heading, man. And you keep following these people, we're going to keep the Lord see. Like, imagine how amazing the Lord is to see that 2,000, 4,000 years ago talking to Moses. He's seen SWIGTQRX. He's seen that coming. Moses didn't see it coming. The Lord was like, if we keep going, we're going to have so many letters on the alphabet. You know what I'm saying? It's what's that little soup? There's these niggas, these devils that you see that little soup with all, they just started just moving this. You know what? Looks good to me. Should make this mean something. Go ahead.
Okay, so it'd be alphabet soup? Yeah,
the alphabet soup. Yeah. These little white kids that grew up on that, they was just looking at the alphabet soup and it started moving around. And they said, you know what? I'm running with that. And they start making up things. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have sex with that. Whatever Z is, let me throw that in there. You ever met somebody with their pronouns as Z, Zay, Zim? Yeah, exactly. It doesn't stop. All right, Salakia. Let's go ahead. Where we at?
First Maccabees.
Chapter 1 and verse 41.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 41.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
Right.
And every one should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Right, like this is one more video I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up the video, Salakia. Keep reading a lot.
Oh God. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Damn.
And sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
Right. Like he made a law saying that all the people in his kingdom have to become one. And that's what America teaches today. We want to become one culture, one society, everyone's accepted. What we have, all these words used sound great and amazing, and that's what's going to make this nation great. All right, and even Jews or Israelites start to and follow the way of these people. I'm going to play this cartoon. I'm not going to play the actual vision of it, but the intro of it.
Verse 45. Forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival and festival days.
Right. We couldn't keep our Sabbath. We couldn't do none of the things that we done in our laws. Keep going.
And pollute the sanctuary and holy people.
Mm-hmm.
Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
Drop down to verse 56.
Verse 56.
Mm-hmm.
And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire.
Right. They came and ripped up our scrolls, ripped up our Torah to knock all the scriptures, all the stories, all the records we had, and they threw them in the fire. Keep going.
And wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament,
Mm-hmm.
or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death.
Good night. You want to keep your society? You want to keep your sociology? You want to keep your culture? You're getting put to death. You understand? Because your culture, if it lives, our culture dies. And if our culture lives, your culture dies. There can only be one. And that's what America has done. So once again, man, the brothers and sisters here in the ISUPK are doing something so powerful, and don't take it for granted, or something that's light or slight, because sometimes we can feel like it's just 2 or 3 of us. What we're not doing is a major thing. But these are the things that they put people to death just to keep this culture going, because they know how powerful this is. If this gets out to enough people and we change the culture, then who is going to go to their prison? All right. I heard an argument earlier today on TikTok. They said, well, the reason why, and it makes sense. It's almost right, but it's not right because of culture, not right because of society and sociology. She was like, man, people do crime because of poverty. That's why we grew up in poverty. Why is that not true? I'm gonna ask y'all, based on what we're saying here tonight, society and culture. And and I want you to prove it to me, thinking One West. She said the reason why niggas is robbing people and killing is because of they're poor.
So I guess it could also be from a learned behavior.
It's learned, but how do we prove that it's wrong in the UPK? That it's not true.
It's wrong because it's against.
No. How do we prove her statement is wrong? She says this person, J-Bo from the town, he just robbed a bank. He is definitely poor. She says the reason why he did the crime is because he's poor. And we're saying poverty does not mean you're going to do a crime. How do we know that in the UPK? It's not just poverty that makes you do a crime.
Sloppy, sir, because we're in poverty.
Exactly. That's the answer. We broken here too, but we ain't robbing no banks. We ain't pimping no women. We're not selling drugs. We just as broke as that nigga. You understand? But our culture is different. Our laws are different. Our morals are different. Our society is different. On this by ourselves, they have a saying: if you have 9 rich friends, you liable to be the 10th one. When I was in the world, I couldn't stop smoking weed because 9 of my friends all smoke weed. I was the 10th smoker. But when I got with a group of men and brothers and sisters that don't smoke weed, guess what? I was able to stop smoking weed. Is that a miracle? Yes, in some ways, but it's also science and it's sociology. If you're around a group of people and they don't do a thing, you're not going to do a thing. You understand? So if you're around a group of people that are poor, but they don't steal, then you can be poor and you're not steal. But the culture that feeds you, you got to get the bag, Gucci, Louis, money, power, bitches, get money, car, blah, 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 blah. you feel even more poor than you already are. And you feel like you need to get, and then they show you, oh yeah, we hit a lick, we got this, and we did. The whole culture is showing you and telling you that this is what you do if you're in this situation. You learn how to become a thief and a robber from your oppressor and from the society you live in. So it's not just the poverty that makes us do these crimes. It's a very big portion of it, but you can be poor and not do those crimes if you have a different culture. All right. All right. Anything else on where we at? We about to close it out. Slocky. I think I only went to 57. That's good. It said they would tell us to put us to death, right? All right, that's the reason why. This is the last piece. I'm gonna play this real quick. We're not gonna watch all of this. I'm gonna play it for y'all. We head on out here if y'all bear with about 9 more minutes. This is it's a TED talk. Hmm. Damn, I like it. YouTube. Wow, almost. Here you go. Issue with a double commercial. Yes. They really want you to pay for YouTube. Hmm. Like And I just want you to think about a YN, you know what I'm saying, in your mind when he's explaining these things. Think about, that girl that becomes a stripper or gets an OnlyFans, like, or has gonna have that abortion this year. Like, hold that into your mind and see that that person is not free. We already admit that we oppressed. We already admit that we slaves. We already admit that the history and all these things. He's saying to other white people, they're not even free. They are being controlled. They're being manipulated. God damn, you can't say that for us. You know what I'm saying? If they admit that they are being controlled and manipulated, then you for sure can say that you shouldn't charge us for our behavior. Commander Johanna says it all the time. I'm not going to charge us for what we're doing. I'm going to charge them. Ain't nothing wrong with that. 90%, 95% of what we're doing is on them. We'll take that 5%. We'll get here and I say, well, we told you we're all black. Why you ain't wearing all black? We'll check. We'll get that. Hey, don't talk to your rear that way. Hey, sis, don't do it. We're going to get the little 5% that we do on our own that we can correct and go to each other alone and deal with these things. But outside of that, as a nation and as a group of people, what gets us in the door is understanding that your oppressor is the goddamn devil, that he's planning your behavior. He destroyed your community systematically. You can forgive your mother for being on drugs. You can forgive your father for going to prison now. You can have mercy on your sister for being a whore. You can forgive yourself for getting that abortion or paying for that abortion because you realize that you weren't free to make those decisions because you are a victim of the society that you live in. You didn't choose the society. Him and his people, they chose this society. They chose this culture. They created it in the lab. We had no parts of it at all. We had no vote in this. We didn't choose this. So we definitely don't have the freedom here. How can they say we're free? I'm going to keep playing. And once again, sleepwalking. What do we say? Stay woke. Wake up. You know what I mean? Our people are asleep. It's just like the movie The Matrix. You know what I mean? Our job is to go and wake up our people to realize the place that we live in is created. Our hood, our ghetto, our gang, all those things that we attach ourselves to, the things that we want to get, the Lambo, Ferrari, you willing to die for that is created. All right. He's gonna damn another commercial. God, damn. But he's gonna reiterate some of these things. I want to break it down. Like bear with me, like 5 more minutes. You know what I'm saying? I know we got work, we got slavery. Um, hmm. Hmm. Pause right there. Now, imagine if he's talking about that kid instead of being alone, you understand, in a room thinking about unaliving himself. He's in a car with a ski mask and a Draco. You know what I'm saying? He about to go slide on the ice. How is it that this kid is about to make a decision to change someone else's life, his life, and it's just his decision, but someone in New York made the same decision in LA? It can't add up. You can't blame him for his behavior if he's a part of a community that are doing the same things. All right. You got to go to the root of the problem and see why. All right. I'm going to keep going. Slack it. Hmm.
What would happen? First off, we'd see that we're never alone. We're supremely connected, absolutely connected to others. We would see that our problems, they're not our problems. They're not, my problems aren't my problems. They're not mine, ours.
Good night. That's brotherhood. This brother addicted to drugs. This brother selling drugs. That ain't just his problem. That's our problem. That's one way. You know what I'm saying? This sister doing this behavior. It's not just, oh, something wrong with her. There's something wrong with us. How do we fix that as a community, as a society, to change the behavior of our people? That's what he's saying. You never alone. You felt alone in your life. That's where you go alone, in the goddamn prison. For the next 25 years, you're going to feel alone. Or you're going to be with the only people that you can identify is with a group of other niggas that made the same decision as you. But you don't realize that until you get in there. And then you start to realize that it wasn't just me that made this decision. Society made a decision for me 20 years before I was born. You understand?
Any problem that I have, any suffering that I engage in, problem, suffering that I share with everybody. In sociology, we talk about the sociological imagination, personal troubles, public issues. The other thing, we'd feel empowered. You know, I used to think that I was empowered, separated from other people. But in fact, what I discover as a sociologist, power by seeing interconnectivity, seeing myself in the web.
Right.
And the other thing is inspiration. I feel inspired. When I think like a sociologist, I'm inspired. I'm connected to other people. My actions are the actions that other people are engaged in. Thoughts, concerns are the same as others. So I'm doing it for them, and they're doing it for me. And finally, the most interesting piece, is really the most interesting piece, is that the groups I'm most connected to are the ones that I think about, that I see. In my family, it may not be other people who are like me, in my community, in my culture. The groups I'm most connected to might be invisible. I might not know any of these people, but I'm really connected to them.
That's the UPK. You know what I'm saying? Like, found, Jim Muhammad was talking about, like, one day we found each other. You having these thoughts, you looking at these things, you feeling a certain way. Then you meet a brother that's thinking the same way, looking at this, feeling the same way. And then we like, okay, we got a community, we got a culture, we got a society. There's something we got to do about it. And that's what he said, I feel empowered. See, they want you to feel weak and have no power. They don't want you to be inspired. This lets you know, like, oh, we can do something about this. You go talk to they're going to have another, what's that called? Stop the violence thing this year again in Oakland. You've been here for a while, like your whole life. How many stop the violence things you think have happened your whole life? One at least every year, huh? Every goddamn year of your life. They're trying to figure out how to stop the violence. I'm going to read this here. In the ISUPK, we're educating Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans about their true heritage, which is comprised of the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. Once our people begin to follow the laws in the Bible, God or Yahweh in the Hebrew will look down from heaven and have mercy on us. He will send Christ to free us from our oppression. Using the Bible, the ISUPK will fix all of the problems in the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian communities, turning a lawless and immoral people into a law-abiding, righteous people. The true nationality of the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians, and West Indians of North, Central, and South America are the true descendants of the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, and Yahweh Shai Mashiach, whom the world English calls Jesus Christ, is our King. Like, we don't have to have another conference about stop the violence. We know how to stop the violence. We have the answers. We have the solutions. We're empowered to know that we have created a new society. We've actually gone back to our original society where those are not a part of our culture, a part of our moral, not a part of our character. And then we can change the direction of someone's life by following this. You understand? So the white man's the devil the Bible speaks of. He doesn't want us to know. He did a whole book. This is not saying I ended on this note. When they, okay, y'all are solid people, y'all are righteous people. When you heard that society can make someone unalive themselves, that's a very powerful thing, right? What comes to your mind? What would you do with that information? Knowing that the culture and society can lead someone to unaliving themselves. What would you do with that information? Exactly. Get a brother a hand. You know what the white man said when he heard that information? He said, ooh, this information is so powerful, I can make a nigga kill himself. I can definitely make him buy my Jordans. I can definitely make him support Gucci. I can make him buy Louis. I can make them love OnlyFans, I can make them do whatever I want them to do. If I can make someone pull the trigger and put a gun in their mouth because I can control the culture, I can make these people do whatever the hell I want. You heard the information that said, I want to save this person's life. They heard the information that said, you know what? I can destroy whoever's life I want and raise up whoever I want, and I can make myself the richest person on planet Earth with this same information. Because if I can control you enough to make you harm yourself, I can definitely control enough to make you buy my product. And that's what they do with this book. Marketers, that's the foundation of marketing and sociology. They sell you McDonald's, they sell you Taco Bell, they sell you these clothes, they sell you a car, they sell you all these things. Take this information that we control culture, we can make ourselves rich. A righteous man said he can control culture. Why wouldn't I use it to save people's lives? All right. So once again, the book proves it from the first chapter to the last chapter that the people that are doing the worst in each one are blacks and Hispanics. And if blacks and Hispanics are doing the worst in each one, that means the people controlling society want that desired effect. This is their predictable, this is what they want. And we are victims of society. We are not evil people. We're not a disgusting, vile, ghetto, ratchet, none of those things. We are creations of our oppressor. Ye are of your father, the devil. Read that one and we out. 942, Salaki. John chapter 8, verse 44. That's what this means. That's what this means. Your behavior, your ghetto is destroyed because of John 8 and 44. Go ahead.
This is the book of John, chapter 8 and verse 44.
Mm-hmm.
Ye are of your father.
Oakland is what?
Ye are of your father.
Chicago is what?
Ye are of your father.
The YNs are what?
Ye are of your father.
Megan Thee Stallion and Horse and OnlyFans are what?
Ye are of your father.
500,000 abortions each year in the black community alone are what?
Ye are of your father, the devil.
Yeah, you a creation of them. Keep going.
And the lust of your father ye will do.
Why are there 2 million black and Hispanic people in prison right now? Because of the lust of their father we would do. We're following their culture because the white man says Gucci is valuable and you're willing to die over it. Keep going.
He was a murderer from the beginning.
So now you a murderer. Keep going.
And abide not in the truth.
He never abided in the truth. This is the truth we reading here. He didn't abide in the truth and use it to save lives. He used it to keep going.
Because there is no truth in him.
Right. He found the truth and he's going to use the truth to tell more lies. Good night. Keep going.
When he speaketh a lie.
When he speaketh a lie, keep going.
He speaketh of his own.
Yeah, that's exactly how he's like, oh man, this is powerful. We gotta distract them. Don't let them learn this for us. That is for you. I forgot what song that was. Future said it in the song. He was like, man, talking about taking some type of that's for them. That ain't for us. That ain't for you. He talking to this woman in his home. He like, nigga, we not supposed to be getting high. That's for them. They like, nigga, they should learn, teach them psychology. Let them know about popping pills and Adderall and chemical imbalance. Tell them that. Blame them for their own problems so we can put them in the penitentiary and you be like, everybody in jail has a mental illness and that's what's wrong with them. That's why they're in prison, because their brain is messed up. Not BET and YouTube and all this is messed up. It ain't the record industry. It's them. Keep going.
For he is a liar.
He is a what?
He is a liar and the father of it.
Yeah, he's the father of lies, man. They mastered lying. They got so in bed in learning truth so they can tell lies. Keep going.
And because I tell you the truth, you believe me.
Hey, I forget about that. We never go that far. You love your father so much. You love the white man. You love the culture that's within you. The society that's within you so much. When we come and tell you the truth, you fight us. You say we're tripping. You say that we're evil for trying to tell you the truth because you're so I don't know what the word is. You are entrenched in lies from the beginning to the end. You know what I'm saying? And with that, Pat, I'm gonna just go ahead and